My name is Bill Brownson. I'm the Chief Financial Officer and Director of Administration for the West Ohio Conference of the United Methodist Church, which includes about 2/3 of the counties in Ohio and 975 or so United Methodist churches. There are any number of fine insurance companies, but if they don't specialize in churches, they don't understand what kind of missions and volunteer work goes on. They're not familiar with boundaries, safe sanctuary matters, and other such things. You can't assume, if you're dealing with an insurance company that doesn't specialize in churches, that they'll know those things. Whereas if you're dealing with an insurance company that specializes in churches and/or an individual representing that company, they'll know all the things that churches inherently need to know, whether it's sending volunteers into the mission field or taking care of the activities that go on within the walls of a church. So one of the things, a lot of churches are older and some of them have stained glass windows or organs and other such things, and it's really critical to understand if the insurance policy that a church purchases is going to provide for replacement cost or the current value of those items. So that's really an important consideration on the property matters. And on the liability matters, again, if something happens with a volunteer and you don't have proper coverage, that church may still be liable and have to go to their other assets to make good on that claim. I know of a story where a church nearly lost its building because it didn't have the coverage it needed due to a behavioral matter, and they weren't insured by a company that insured churches. And had they been, it would have not been in question. First of all, and this would be for any kind of insurance company, but certainly for insurance companies that cover churches, is they have to have a strong balance sheet. At the end of the day, if there's a claim or lots of claims, you want to make sure they have the resources to make good on them. That's why you're paying your premiums. So that's the first is, a financial, a health threshold. The second is I would look at the kind of information that they have available, be it on their website or in their direct mail activities that help you or churches stay current on the kinds of things that churches have to deal with, whether it is open carry matters on in-person worship, on how to navigate any perceived or concerns about liability with returning to worship in an era of COVID-19. But insurance companies that specialize, keep in mind, they don't want to pay claims. So they want to educate their customers on how to avoid them and manage them and minimize them such that premiums can stay low for their customers and that their insurance company can stay strong. Probably the most common kind of insurance, there's a lot of roof issues. There are contract issues that churches sometimes get exploited with. And good insurance can help defend a church against those kinds of activities, can help replace roofs where the nature of the damage was natural, if you will, act of God, what have you. And things like trees fall on roofs. Things such as that go a long way, and having insurance that can pay and pay timely and be efficient matters. I might also say that you might eventually get an insurance company that doesn't specialize in churches to pay a claim, but you don't want to be hassled by it. You want to work with an insurance company that knows exactly how churches respond. They're going to get a volunteer or perhaps a pastor who's making the claim on behalf of the church, and they want to make sure that it goes smoothly, and it's best for the church, who may be out the money or needing the resources, as well as the insurance company's customer service to perform well on claims. If you're not working with an insurance company that knows churches or an individual who works with churches, you are at risk. It's period, hard stop. And so that's why I really want to and from my chair, if church works with any one of the 5 that do a lot of business in Ohio, of which Thomas Alexander is one, I sleep well at night and they ought to sleep well at night. It's that simple.